Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Welcome to DSC's Campfires with Larry Weissoon, a unique blend of hunting, fishing, wildlife conservation, and the outdoor lifestyle. DSC's Campfires is brought to you by DSC, Conservation, Education, and Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus, award-winning revolvers and pistols. Stealth Vision, high-tech, precision-driven equipment for today's modern hunter. Red 55 Winery, signature wines from Emmy Award-winning country artist Miranda Lambert, owned by Rick and Beverly Lambert. And the Choctaw Hunting Lodge, home of some of the finest hunting in North America. Now, here's Larry.
Mr. Stefan Bengtson, welcome to another episode of DSC's Campfires, and in all places we are parked outside of a very famous battlefield that occurred here in Scotland, and we've been on an absolutely great hunt. And really what I'd like to do today is just kind of visit with you about hunting in Europe as a total. And we'll come back and do some with Mark and Carol Little, who are out hunting this afternoon as well too. But for starters, tell me about Scandinavian Pro Hunters.
Scandinavian Pro Hunters is owned and run by me and my wife Sophia. We've been doing these hunts all over Europe and actually all over the world, but especially Europe since 2002. So we are working more or less all over Europe, you can say, and we are doing it in many ways. We are doing it both as big game hunting and lots of wing shooting. And the nice thing with Europe is, for lots of the American that doesn't know it, is that it's so short distance between the countries. So we are often combining that as well. But so that's more or less what we are up to.
And Europe actually is not that far compared to some of the flights I've made to other parts of the world. So usually within about 8 or 9 hours maximum, you can be from the States in Europe, unless I guess you live in the far western part of the States. But let's talk a little bit to begin with about some of the big game species that you hunt, and maybe a little bit about the key countries that you hunt. What about like roe deer and red stag and fallow deer and maybe some of the others? And I know that you have the European buffalo here too, or bison. Yeah. It's called a wisent, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so that's correct.
Let's talk a little bit about those. What about hunting those for somebody that, it's to begin with, it is absolutely a blast coming over and hunt with you guys. So tell me a little bit about the big game hunts that you do and maybe how you hunt them as well too.
Yeah. No, in Sweden we are hunting, the species that we are hunting over there is, like you said, the European bison. It's just a few licenses that we get every year, so it's not a main target for us. I think that most hunters is coming to Sweden is for the roebucks, since we have some of the biggest roebucks in Europe. Apart from the roebuck, then we can also hunt the European red stag, some really good fallow stag, mouflon sheep, wild boar, and then we're also hunting the European moose.
Yes, that's right. We did that a couple of years ago now.
So that's the main thing that we're hunting in Sweden. And then apart from that, we are doing the European reindeer in Norway. We are hunting a lot in Finland for the whitetail. It's one only country where you got the free-range whitetail. There is also a few licenses every year for the forest reindeer. That is a very, very how should I say, very specific, very special kind of reindeer, because they are living in the forest. It's a forest reindeer. They are living in the forest, and they look very, very different from a lot of the other ones. We do hunts in Greenland. That's probably our main destination at the moment. It's
really?
shifting over the years, yeah. But Greenland is our main destination for us, and there we are hunting the muskox and the Greenland caribou. Scotland, of course, we have the roe deer, we are having the sika, and we are having the Scottish red stag. That is a classic hunt up in the Highlands. In England, we are hunting the Chinese water deer, the muntjac, the English red stag, Manchurian sika, Japanese sika, and roe deer as well. And then we do hunts in other parts of former Eastern Europe, like Poland, Hungary, Serbia, Romania, and that's mainly for the roe deer and for the red stag that we are doing those kind of hunts. So I think that's more or less the countries that we are dealing with.
Which is quite a few countries when you get right down to it. As you were talking, there were some of those I have not done, but I've been very fortunate to be with you and Sophia on several of the hunts. And the first time I came over to hunt with you guys, I just fell in love with you guys. And also because of the quality of the hunt and the attention that was paid to the small details of making things work. And knowing the animals, and of course both you and Sophia, you've been a gamekeeper and a biologist for a long time. Sophia really has to the same extent as well too. So to me, that not only are you hunting with somebody who knows the animals, you can say, well, what about that plant over there, or this or that, or the history, and you guys always have an answer. And it's always right.
I hope so. Like you said before, we don't have to Google on the internet, because then we might get the right answer.
Of those animals, what is your personal favorite to hunt?
I would say that the Norwegian reindeer is probably my favorite in whole Europe. And the reason for that is that it's pure wilderness. It's a beautiful, beautiful scenery. The way that they are hunted, I mean, the reindeer, you can sit on a mountain, you've been walking a lot, and you're sitting and waiting, and you don't see anything for hours, and suddenly there's a wave of antlers coming in over the ridge. And that feeling when you see them and then try to ambush them and have one standing free and not lots of them behind, that can be really frustrating and really get the heart going. So I would say for my first point will definitely be the reindeer in Norway. Secondly, I would say the roebucks. And you as is the Mr. Whitetail, you know that this is our European whitetail, and they are all different.
It is.
And it's always just fun to hunt.
We'll talk a little bit more when Mark and Carol have an opportunity to sit and talk with us as well, too, about this particular hunt, because it was a three-nation hunt. We'll get into that a little bit more a little bit later. The Norwegian reindeer, Tim Fallon and I did that along with some other people quite some time with Dick and, the Scott family as well, too, and some other people on that hunt. But you're right, it was such a great hunt because it was a walking hunt the first day. The second day, I don't know how y'all did it, but you found some horses, and Tim Fallon and I rode part of the time, and your lovely wife walked, and she outwalked the horses, outwalked us, but we ended up with some really outstanding reindeer when you get right down to it. Absolutely beautiful animals, and it was a great pleasure spending time with you and she, and then you had some local guys who really knew the animals as well too. Yeah.
Now the thing that we normally say, Sophia and me, that the thing that we are most proud of is that the local guides that we are having in the different countries. It's something, a relationship that we've been building up over so many years. So Jakob, like for example, that we are working with in Norway, is fantastic person, and he knows the areas. He has the best contacts for the best areas. So the benefit of that is that we can always get to the best grounds. I mean, it's shifting year from year because that's how nature is.
Yeah.
But that advantage with having really good local guides and people that know that, okay, this is the place that we should go this year, and I think that is what we are most proud of, that we're having so good partners all over.
You indeed do have great partners all over every place we've ever been, and I've been several places with you, and there's some other places I hope we'll be with you in the future kind of thing. But you're right, and those folks really know the property, and in most instances they are gamekeepers on those properties, or they're managers in other ways of the property. And God, there's so many great hunts here to be had. When you get right down to it, I want to go back a little bit to the wisent. There are just a very few permits of those issued every year.
Yeah, it is. It's that was saved, you can say, by a famous Swedish nature conservist, Bengtson, for many years ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was start of the century at least. He was building a big preserve, and then he was introducing them that also together with a original Swedish red stag, Cervus elapus, and from that they've been working that program, and most of the parts where you find wisent in other parts of Europe is actually coming from this place here, and then they've been making program together to save it, to get new blood and all those kind of things.
Right.
So that's more or less how it's done.
What about the red stags? There are several different subspecies.
Oh yeah.
In the areas that you hunt.
Oh yeah. So in the whole world, there are 13 different species. The smallest on Corsica, and the biggest is the one that you have in the States, the Wapiti, and in Russia, the Maral stag. The one that we are offering, and I think, like you mentioned a little bit before, with these several countries, is that it's quite fun that you can come over on a trip, and on that trip we can do multiple species.
Exactly, yes.
So we can hunt the Norwegian red stag, we can hunt the English red stag, the Scottish red stag, the European red stag, and the Iberian red stag down in Spain on the same trip, actually.
On the same trip?
Yeah. But normally we will recommend to take 2 or 3 of them on a trip, otherwise it's going to be a little bit longer trip.
It would be a fairly long trip, even just the logistics going from one place to the other kind of thing. But the other side of that is the places you hunt, and most of these we're talking about free range, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, just simply because that's only where they exist when you get right down to it anymore. But outside of that, those hunts, and you do those in the fall, obviously.
We do that mainly in September, start of October. And the other good thing with those hunts is that apart from the red stag in the different countries, you can also shoot other species. I mean, if you go to England, you have the muntjac, you have the sika, so there's roedeer, of course. So there's quite a few species to hunt over there. If you do it in Scotland, then we have the sika stag, the Japanese sika, and the roedeer. If we do it in Sweden, we also have, apart from the English red stag, we have the fallow, we have roebuck, mouflon, wild boar. So it's possible to really, have some good hunts, put it that way.
The one thing I've appreciated about it, you have a great sense of humor, as your wife, and these hunts that I've been able to do with you, and we've done several in several countries now, they're fun. I can't wait to get up in the morning to go hunting with you, and sometimes it's with other people, of course. I mean, with different guides, because we'll have several people in camp, and one day you'll hunt with this person, one day you hunt with this other person. But the guides, even the ones that I've spent a little time with guides who don't speak very much English, but there's a certain rapport, a certain good feeling between those people. And I don't know how you select those folks, but my gosh, you do a great job when y'all. Sophia does it, right?
Yeah, Sophia, of course. No, but that's what I say. We are very picky with the people that we are working with. We normally say that by the end of the day you can't make lots of money, but it must be fun when you're doing it, and so that's why it's more important to have people that you enjoy to be together with, and that is nice and honest to work with. And that's more important than having an extremely good area with a...
The other thing that I've enjoyed is that we've been in camp with other people. They're repeat customers.
Yeah.
And some of them, it's not just the second time they've been here. They've been spending hunting time with you numerous times. So that speaks it very highly. I mean, I've loved some of the time, like when we were in England earlier this year. Is the guys y'all were messing with each other the entire time? I mean, it was like truly like old friends being together in a hunting camp.
Yeah, but that's what we like with this several countries that we are doing, because then people can come back to us or go to the next country, and then we do next country, and then, like I said, it's becoming friends, not strangers.
Yes,
I mean, and that's what it's all about, again, having fun and having a good time, and I think that's very important.
There's a lot of social aspects to the hunts that you do, and with the big game, but particularly in some of the waterfowl and upland game.
Yeah, for sure. That's more a social hunt in total. And I mean, we do both normal upland hunts, we do big driven hunts, we do that in Spain, in Italy, in France, in Sweden, in England, in Scotland. So, but that is definitely a social thing. So then it's really important also that we have good dog handlers, because normally if it's a group that's coming over and do some upland hunting, we still need 3-4 dog handlers to join us, and that must also be people that is, that you can have fun together with.
Well, to take it, not necessarily, I didn't do that bird hunt with you, a couple of bird hunts, but we did the moose with dogs.
Yeah.
And the guides that we had with their dogs were phenomenal. I mean, by the time we left parted company after, thankfully, John and Bruce killed their animals, you know, you left there as friends and tried to stay in touch with each other. Those guys were so personable, and I think you and Sophia have done just such a fabulous job of, again, selecting those people to where the hunts are fun. Even on those days when the weather is against you and the wind is blowing so hard or it's raining straight down, somehow or another you still manage to have people smiling.
Yeah, but we are cheating a little bit. It's so easy to get hold of a beer or whiskey over here, so if it goes totally wrong.
And which brings up another subject. We are in Scotland, by golly. And, you know, there's some very, very fine Scotch that we will imbibe a little bit later this evening. But that brings up the subject of water. And I want to go back on the waterfowl thing. There's some interesting, quote-unquote, no bag limits here.
Yeah. No, the thing that we are doing on our own property that we have in Sweden is that we don't, like you said, we don't have any bag limit. So the thing we are doing there is we are doing the upland hunt, but we call it VIP upland hunt, because on those hunt we don't shoot 2-5 birds per hunter. We shoot 10, 20, 30 birds per hunter. Depending on the skill of the guns, of course.
Yes.
And that will be a mixture of pheasants, Hungarian partridges, hare, and mallard, teal, those kind of things. So it will be a mixture of going with pointers, with spaniels, flushing some ponds, lifting the ducks. And that mixture, I think, is the thing that I appreciate most myself, because I like difficult shotgun shooting, and since that variety, speed, size of birds coming against you, flying away, high and low, making some really, really challenging shooting, and you can feel that you're hunting. You're not just standing as a shooter, but you're actually hunting. And so that is our own favorite hunt.
Right.
And then we do the big duck shoots, and the big duck shoot is, then we just go on ponds, and we have some quite big ponds, and on a day like that, then a group of 10, 12 guns will be shooting anything from 400 to 600-700 birds. So it's lots of shooting, of course. So when people is coming over, then we normally is doing it as a 1 or 2 day upland hunting.
Yes, sir.
And then we will do 1 day of driven high volume duck shooting. And then, like I mentioned before, the good thing is that people that want to come over for several days, then we jump into the flight, then we fly down to Italy, and we do the same thing, or to Spain. And for people who doesn't like Sweden, then we can do it in Spain, and we can do it in Italy. And another, I must say, I have another favorite, real favorite, is here in Scotland, on the hybrids, where we are doing a driven woodcock.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That
a
is
driven
really,
woodcock?
Yes, and it's so challenging. The properties we are working with, they don't do any rearing of birds on those islands. So there's no pheasants, no partridges. And from end of November up to the end of January, when the wind and everything is right, there will be coming lots of woodcock coming into the highlands, and then there's small patches of forest. And that forest, you're standing in like in fire opening gates, and then the birds will be pushed over, and they are just coming quietly and feels like they are attacking you. It's so much fun.
And they can be hard to hit.
Yeah, they not always fly into the palace, so but that's really good fun. And we can also combine that with pointing dogs on the highland for grouse and woodcock. So that is, I think that is my personal favorite when it's coming to wing shooting.
Yeah, I can see that. I've been fortunate to do a duck hunt with you and a couple of other things like that, and those were so much fun. And I just happened to be here or be there in Sweden when some old friends from many, many years ago that I had not seen in a long time, they were clients of yours, and guess what? I was asked by them and you to join them, and oh my God, I was absolutely thrilled. And I actually even hit a few birds, I mean, that was the amazing part, because I don't consider myself a shotgunner, although I enjoy shooting it kind of thing. Okay, started on the water trend. You do some fishing. Personal fishing, but y'all also do some unbelievable fishing with clients as well. Yeah.
It's a new product that we are taking up because we can see, we know that most people are, hunters are also fishermen.
Right.
And so then we can't compete with the people that is just going for the fishing, that professional outfitters for that. So the thing that we are doing is that we're often combining it, so people can combine it. If you're coming to Scotland in May, for example, June, you can combine both salmon fishing or fishing in the lakes for trout, big trouts or rainbows. Combine that with roebuck hunting. If you're coming in September, you can combine salmon, trout with red stag, sika stag. We are doing a little bit in France and Italy also for people who just want to do the fishing.
Right.
In the summertime, June and July, because it's beautiful scenery, wine, cheese. So even if we don't catch anything, it can't go wrong. I mean,
the one time I've been able to fish, we were here in Scotland, and but I love fishing with a fly rod, and I can get a fly out there reasonably without having too many S-curves and all this kind of stuff on the water and the line. But you or the gentleman we were getting handed me a spey rod. And for those of y'all who don't know what a spey rod is, it's a reel attached to this rod that's 87 feet long. Or so it seems. How long are they?
They're normally 13, 14.
Okay. But there's a special technique that you use a swing and I'm able to watch the gentleman that we fished with, and I mean, I could see he'd pick out a spot where he wanted to put that fly. You just watch him, and that fly would be within an inch of where he wanted it to be, and it was just amazing. So if you're into fly fishing, you might go look up a spey rod and maybe even try to get one and play with it before you come, because it's a unique kind of fishing. I suspect it's used elsewhere, but it particularly seems to be used here in
it started up here in Scotland, and the reason for that is that it's a double-handed fly rod, and so you need, for the salmon, you need quite heavy stuff, of course.
Right.
And the spey casting technique was actually coming, like you said, here from Scotland, because the River Spey is quite a thick background where you have, so it's difficult to have the line up in the air behind you. You're going to get hooked in the trees.
Yes. So
that's why I try to keep the end of the fly line and the leader and the fly in the water on the side of you or in front of you, can say, and then just get a bend of the fly line behind you, and then you shoot it out.
So that's what the theory, I mean, that's what you're doing.
That's what you're doing. Yeah. So it is a very special technique, and salmon fishing in total is very difficult because it's migratory fish that you're going after, and it might be that the water level is not right, so they're not running and they're not feeding since they're migrating.
Right.
So you have to tease them to take the bite or the fly. You know what it is. It's not always easy to tease, but the casting is what I enjoy most with the salmon fishing. And of course, when you have a salmon grabbing the fly, that's the thing. But it's so difficult, so it's nothing that you should really count on. And
Right.
Like I normally tell Sophia when she's joking with me that I didn't catch anything that day neither, then I prefer to eat sausages anyway, so I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care. Now, if somebody wants to come over to fish with fly fish,
Yeah.
do you recommend that they bring their own equipment?
No,
or?
no,
Okay.
definitely not. It's better to use ours,
Yes.
definitely. And we got some good guides that both know how to teach the casting technique. And
Good.
if you go for normal single-handed rod for trout fishing, then most people they know how to do it anyway. So
Yes.
yeah, so it is. It's possible to do it always. Yeah.
In the same respect, you know, I've come over here and brought my own guns.
Yeah.
And it can be done. You just need to go through a bunch of paperwork and procedures and all that kind of thing. But unless you're somebody such as what I was, where I was specifically field testing guns and all those other kind of things, it's a lot better for somebody to come over here and just utilize a gun that either you have, depending on where you are,
Yeah.
whether that you have or with one of the local gamekeepers
Yeah,
has.
yeah. Yeah, the thing is, like we I didn't mention it before, but many of these trips that we are doing is very suitable also for the non-hunter to join.
That's where I was going to go
Yeah.
after that. Yes.
Yeah. So when you do touring and you want to stay a few days extra or come in a couple of days in advance, and then we are flying between different countries, it makes a hell of a difference just to use our guns.
Yes,
I mean, that's
it's so much easier.
so much easier.
So much easier. So fewer headaches and all those
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
things. And let's touch on that a little bit too. In the past, we've done some of that when my wife has been with us, and
Yeah.
other wives have been, you know, with other guys that were here. They did some touring, and then we also did some touring together in some of those instances.
Oh yeah. No, so the thing that we are doing is that if it's just a couple coming in, for example, to Scotland, then we normally recommend them just to come in a few days in advance.
Mm-hmm.
They will be met up on the airport by the hotel the day that they are supposed to go out hunting, and we pick them up, of course. And then they can do the hunting, and after the hunt, then they will go to another destination and do some touring or hunting. And then apart from that, we are doing our hosted hunts. And the hosted hunt is that then it will be a bit bigger group. If it's not
Yes,
a
sir.
group of people that know each other from the start, we also have some set dates to Scotland, for example. Between that and that date, then we will get X amount of couples coming. We are renting a nice house, like a big manor house. We have our own chef, and then we do so that the people that go hunting, they will be going hunting, and the non-hunter is more than welcome to join also on the hunt, even if they don't shoot, but just to be up in the highlands. But for the people that choose to stay back, then we will do some touring in the region. And that's the same regardless if we are in Sweden or Scotland or England. So it is a hell of a nice trip to combine some sightseeing. And we normally say that we are organizing holiday hunts.
Exactly. Exactly.
And the good thing with a holiday hunt is that then it doesn't count as a hunting trip.
And it keeps that wife or
You
girlfriend,
can go
whatever.
twice.
We're not going to question whatever the deal is. It keeps them happy as well too.
Yeah.
I want to close this out because I want to come back and do it. I've got 2 or 3 more of these that I want to do with you, but I want to do it kind of the specific topic kind of thing. You've been so very gracious, you and Sophia both, in donating hunts and fishing trips or waterfowl trips in the past to DSC and DSC Foundation. And on behalf of DSC and DSC Foundation, I want to tell you thank you for doing so. And you do so much in supporting both of you and in supporting conservation in the work that you do in perpetuating habitat and improving habitat, I should say, because that's what you do in so many different ways, and so many different critters benefit, not just the game species. But thank you so very much for doing that. And with that, I need to mention that please join us at the DSC Foundation Gala, which is July the 25th. And prior to that is the DSC Summer Show. And this starts on the 23rd through the 26th at the Gaylord Texan there in Grapevine, Texas. So hope to see you there. Now, how do people get in touch with you about the hunts that we kind of touched upon, the fishing we've talked on, or even if they want to plan a holiday that involves just a little bit of those?
Yeah. No, the easiest is to go in to our websites, scandinavianprohunters.com. There you will first be able to read about the different things that we are organizing, and then give us a call or shoot us an email. Or you can reach me on Stefan at prohunters.se or Sophia at prohunters.se. So then we are normally, even if we are out traveling, we are able to answer at least on the emails.
And we've noticed that almost everywhere we've been, there has been internet at the hotels, and the hotels we're staying at are not like the hotels we have in the States, guys. They're classy, they're got great character and all those kind of things. And I know that if you come make one trip with Stefan and Sophia, that's not going to be the one trip. You're going to make numerous. By the time you leave, you're going to go, no, now what can we do in the springtime, and what can we do in the fall? Because that way we can come back here twice in the same year. So, Stefan, thank you so very much for joining us today around the campfire. We're going to come back and do several more of these with you before we part company, and I have to go back to to where it's hot as compared to where it's absolutely gorgeous where we are here. But thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us around the campfire. We'll be right back here next week, and pretty good chance Stefan will be here with me another few times before we get out of this part of the world.
DSC's Campfires with Larry Weissoon has also been brought to you by The Crown Bar in LaGrange, Texas, the Texas Wildlife Association, Double Nickel Taxidermy, and Burnham Brothers Game Calls.